Well, there comes a time in everyone's life where you have to really just realise you have to hand the reins over.
Sam decided to throw the towel in.
To this man.
The whole build.
It's all going in the bin.
It's all going. It's all gone.
It's all gone. What's actually happening is I have to go back to Sydney to kiss my dad on the lips. So I'm going to leave you in the capable hands of Max. Max is going to continue working on the 80 series and make some progress, hopefully, not blow it up. And I'll be back in a week. So I'm going to leave you with Max now and
whatever happens, happens.
Whatever happens, happens. There you go, buddy.
My car might get a forged engine.
See you soon.
What's going on, guys? This is Sam Young 4x4. Today we're installing GFB blow-off valves on 80 series Land Cruiser with spicy FZ.
Are you sad that Sam has left us?
I'm glad.
With his vehicle? You're glad that Sam's gone?
You can pop back to Sydney and stay there.
Stay there. You hear that, Sam? You're not welcome here. Unwelcome. I miss you. JJ doesn't know. Alright, so exhaust has been fully welded now. This piece still has to come off. We've decided to ceramic coat and heat wrap it just because there's going to be so much heat going through it. It's probably going to be glowing red 90% of the time. And as you can see, it's quite tight fitting 4-inch through here. It's very close to the body and the firewall here, and we don't want Sam's little footsies to melt. So that's just on there temporarily. We'll get it, coated and wrapped. The rest of the system will probably stay on here. We've got the exhaust valve here, 4-inch down one side, 3-inch down the other side. Comes through here, a little electric motor on the side, which hopefully we can hook up to the Haltech. And then the loud pipe, the 4-inch pipe, fully welded, comes out here. And then the quiet pipe, the 3-inch, pretty sexy, lobster welds. Over the top, stainless muffler, over the chassis rail again, and out here. All right, actual update time, because the battery said 30%, but it kept turning off because GoPro batteries suck. We have sheath, the entire engine bay loom, all the way across over to this side, all up there. Still need to tuck it all nicely, all wrapped up. Also sheath the gearbox loom with some nice, can't even show you, it's all hidden up in there anyway, with some nice fluffy tape. Just gonna push this connector back through the firewall and hook it all up. That'll get all tidied up. It's been a pretty big job, but I'll show you all the factory Toyota stuff we've removed. So just piles of this disgusting black shit, just 30-year-old plastic, which you can literally break with your fingers. It's that crispy. The old power distribution box we don't need. A heap of wiring and stuff we pulled out. This box is just, that's the factory engine loom, which we don't need anymore. It's a monster, look at that. It's my biggest nightmare. Terrified. So hopefully we didn't need any of that. It was just kind of a keep cutting till it all came out kind of job. But it's all looking pretty good. All right, today we're actually gonna tackle the nitrous setup. So Raceworks have supplied us with some sexy billet clamps, which I will show you in a minute. But they are going to allow us to mount the big, this big bottle in the back. So, step one will be working out where it needs to go. Keep it looking nice and legal.
Carrying the kid.
Carrying my kid. Let's go have a look. So what we're gonna do, guys, we're gonna put Sam in the back of the car here so he can make some decisions for what he wants to do. So,
I'm so is that our lost child?
Maybe.
In that video.
Oh, Sam. I've dropped you inside the quarter panel. Fucking hell. Oh, that is not good.
Come to my voice.
I dropped Sam inside the quarter panel, but it's down in the middle. He's right.
To my voice. Just imagine if I'd sneak down and come back.
Sam, I'm sorry. You're all the way down in the... So, Sam has made the decision, we're thinking, to put the bottle on the right-hand side of the vehicle, just so that if battery is here and bottles here, it kind of keeps all the random to one side, and then we've got more space on the left, so we don't ride off both sides of the vehicle, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. Until we can get a second bottle and even out the symmetry, but I think for now, right side's the hot.
Yep, easy. Well, I'll get that bracket mounted to that tower, and then that way it's all mounted and we can just start running lines and stuff. Obviously the battery has to go through the vehicle, through there. The NOS line has to go to the engine bay as well, so that can all be run at the same time once it's off the hoist. All right, it's been a pretty chaotic Monday, but I'll show you what we have achieved today. So, turbo has an oil feed, pretty exciting. We have brake booster has been mounted and it has been hooked up to vacuum. We have mounted Raceworks billet, flex fuel sensor and bypass right here. So it's on the return, it's the return line here. So the rail return going to be reg and then into the flex fuel and then back to the tank. Pretty straightforward. Feed comes up, Raceworks billet inline fuel filter, and then feeds the rail. Once the intake's done and on, we have loom on coil packs. With a big Deutsch connector on the end. We have tyres back on. Lots of clearance to the exhaust, which was one thing we were a little bit concerned about, but we've got meters. We got like a good, what's that, 25 mil. I have pulled the accelerator cable out. Obviously going drive-by-wire, we don't need the cable. I'll show you what we're working with now. So this is the pedal that Raceworks has supplied. Electronic pedal assembly. There's your plug here. Almost looks like a factory 80 series pedal. So pretty nice. And I just need to work out a way to actually mount this using the 3 mounting holes. So currently under here, we have the factory pedal. How do I do this? Factory pedal mounts to those 2 bolts. So you have to pull that off and mount that pedal. And then that side of things will be done. Pretty cool, eh? And the bar's back on. And the grill. That's some good lighting. Look at that. Yeah, this looks good, eh? All right, guys. We're back here. We've got Levi in the workshop today. It's been pretty busy, so we figured we'd get Levi on the tools. He's actually, not many people know this, he used to be a bit of a mechanic himself. So what we've done is we've got him back in the shop working on cars today. He's got his own tools, all from Bunnings, craft right. Yeah. So he's gonna get stuck in. That's it. He's got an engine to pull out, then he's got one to rebuild. I reckon, what's the time? 10 a.m. He'll be done by lunchtime. We'll have a few beers.
That's it, mate. Swung a couple of spanners in my time. Yeah. Pretty keen to get on the tools again.
It's been hard. Ever since he's come out of prison, not many people want to hire him.
Yeah, that's it, mate.
All these tattoos, like being a convict is difficult.
I'm a bit crim.
So what's next?
I would say, hold up, just got to remember where I left off this morning when I put down my last tools to have smoko. Well, I would say the horn needs to be wide in. That was pretty high on my priority list. You need to stay safe, especially when you're out in the tracks, can't see around the corner. So I think that goes into this.
Yeah.
Thing behind the dash.
Yeah.
That's how you activate it. We've got WWE coming in.
Whoa. Worldwide. What's WD?
More of a SmackDown than
69.
Raw sort of thing.
Nice, man.
Yeah. Anyways, apart from the horn, I'd say the accelerator needs to be plugged into.
Yeah, don't want to unplug that.
No, yeah, you got to plug that in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the engine won't run.
Yeah.
And happy days, man. After that, it's pretty much good to turn on.
Yeah, turnkey build.
That is in spec too. I called Toyota.
Yeah, so Toyota actually lists the specs of these fan belts, and Levi's got his little dial gauge in there, and I reckon that he said that's in spec.
Yeah, my dial gauge.
It's on the looser side of spec, but it's still all good. That'll catch once it starts spinning. All right.
Oh, they told me.
They told you.
You got to bump the keys.
He spoke to Mr. Toyota.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's where we're at today. Keep cracking on to 5, and then cracking on the beers, and certainly not cracking on the crack. That's what got me in jail the first time.
Yes, certainly not cracking on the crack.
What's going on, yeah?
So, a lot of you were wondering what our plan with the manifold was. Well, I'll show you. So, there you go. That's hot. Heaps of clearance between the tower and the manifold now. So, what we've done is we've actually used the ProFlow flange to the head as well as the runners. And then we've just used a DIY cast alloy top hat and just welded it on. Made the base plate as well. And it might be hard to see in there, but they've all been like kind of bell mouthed inside the plate to port them out a little bit. And this is just like the drive-by-wire flange we've welded onto the front of the manifold. So heaps of clearance with it, looks really nice, and we still got the space to run a fuel rail here, and we just tried to keep the runners as long as we possibly could with the space we have. Obviously longer is better, but at this kind of application, you know, you can only work with what you've got. We didn't want to tilt the manifold up or anything weird like that. We wanted to keep it all nice and low and symmetrical, make it look nice and sexy. So I think the plan now is to get this piece ceramic coated, kind of like the turbo as well, so it's all symmetrical, and it just got like shiny, black shiny, and looks all nice. And then I can keep going, do my cooler pipe from here down to here. So to add to the list of stuff not working, the fuel rail doesn't actually fit against the firewall. So it contacts here on the firewall. I think just 80 series are really tight with these manifolds against the firewall, so we can't get a fitting 90-degree fitting off the end of it without bashing the firewall, which we don't really want to do. So solution is we're going to cut this fuel rail down, a bit scary, and then I'm going to cut it about here, which will save us probably 20 mil or so, and then whack this fitting welded on the end of the rail like this. So that'll save us, yeah, a good 20 mil 1 inch of space against the firewall there. So I've just welded up the cooler pipe that goes from the intercooler to the intake manifold. Give you a bit of a look. Still cooling down, it's pretty hot. That's pretty nice. So 3.5 inch Wiggins clamp that goes to the throttle body, and then it's 3.5 inch the whole way until it just goes to where the cooler pokes through the front guard, and that drops down from 3.5 to 3 inch into another Wiggins clamp there. Turned out pretty nice. I'm thinking we're gonna stick blow off valve or something, probably like on the side of it. Just need to weld in a 1.5 inch bit of alloy tube for that to get stuck to, and then we'll be done. Well guys, you wouldn't believe it. The stars have aligned and Clean Hand Sam has made it to Brisbane.
We're here. Should we go do some work? Get these hands dirty.
Mine are actually pretty clean.
Yeah, fuck Clean Hand Max.
Clean Hand Max. He's got me.
You know what they say about big hands, mate?
Yeah, small.
Hey man, fucking tiny.
Anyway, let's go see
We can have a camera.
what we can do. So we've had to make a bit of a custom top radiator hose just due to the manifold and everything. The factory outlet doesn't actually fit. It comes too close to the intake manifold. So spent the better part of the morning making
I've never seen something like this in my life.
unbelievably annoyingly custom.
You've seen a bespoke exhaust. You've seen bespoke inlet manifold. Bespoke intercooler piping. Did you ever think you were going to see a custom one-of-one fill in there?
Anyway, here we are. So all alloy, I just had to kind of flange out of some alloy plate, and that'll get bolted up obviously. But it clears the drive-by-wire throttle body, and it looks nice. It kind of matches all the rest of the alloy on the engine bay, which is really nice, keeping it all symmetrical. But yeah, it's turned out pretty nice. So I don't think you could think of anything better to be doing on a Sunday than wiring in this delightful Haltech into this gorgeous, dusty 80 series. Got the Haltech shirt on, so you know it's official. But I'll show you what we got so far. Started allocating different wires and stuff, different sensors. Started cutting things to length. We're going to make an injector subloom for these injectors here and then face it all down so we can just disconnect the injectors easily. That's the engine-based stuff. I'll show you what we got inside. We've got a spaghetti of cables to do inside as well. That's something we need to tackle after we do the engine side of things, as well as like mounting the ECU, mounting the wideband control box, and all the other stuff like that. Come around to the other side of the vehicle. Show you what I'm on IC7 dash fun times. So we have these are old connectors for the factory cluster. We've just had to get signals off each of them. I've just gone through and labeled them, and then I'll make a little loom for them. Like we've got the park light for the dash, we've got brake lights, we've got left-hand turn, right-hand turn, etc. They all get the wires extended to them, and then they plug into the back of the IC7 dash, which is this sexy display. There's this plug here. So yeah, you just get your triggers, plug them into the plug, that goes in, and then a lot of this other stuff is actually just through the CAN connector for the dash. So that'll go from the ECU straight to the dash. Yeah, fun, but it's just, yeah, a lot of cable management, like dealing with that spaghetti of wires and this and making it look all nice. We need to put GPS speed in, we need to put fuel pump triggers, etc., all the way from the back to the front. It's a bit chaotic. So we have the IC7 wide in just temporarily to check all the inputs and everything are working on it, but it all seems to be. So pretty snazzy looking. There's a whole different bunch of displays and stuff you can set up and different warnings and everything on them, but yeah, I'll try to show you. Well, I've only got one hand. If I hit the indicators, indicator to the right, indicator to the left. We've got park brake if I pull the handbrake on, and then it also dims for headlights. If I turn the headlights on, it'll actually dim the display, which is pretty cool. And then the rest of the data just comes from the Haltech through like a CAN system. It's just like 4 wires on the back, just communicates that way, and that'll show everything else. But yeah, making progress slowly but surely. We've also come across Sam's alarm systems. So if anyone wants to steal his vehicle again, now's your chance. We'll disconnect all of these.
Okay, what a week Max has had. This thing has come leaps and bounds from where we left him. He has tackled things like the Haltech, the dash, the wiring, the plumbing of things, the intake manifold, getting it basically looking like a running, driving car again. That's the busy man right there. He's a little bit off me because he's been slaving for weeks, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah. That's gonna wrap up this episode. Thank God for that. Next week is a massive one. We're gonna try and fire this thing up for the very first time. And what if I told you it doesn't all go as smoothly as what we're gonna think? That's right. There's a lot going on in next week's episode. You're gonna need to tune in. We get this thing fired up. We get it on the dyno, start running it in, and we do run into some issues. So you're gonna have to wait and see for that. Make sure you subscribe. We'll see you soon.